Hello, this is Darren.
And this is Paige.
And this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we talk about what happens when life throws you lemons.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe. Some weeks it's lemon squares.
Yeah, some weeks it's just lemons.
Yeah. On today's episode,
we are going to talk about understanding differences between men and women.
There are no differences. We're all the same.
That's weird.
Okay, recently you did some research on that, and it's been a while since we podcasted, so we apologize for that. But you were doing some research, some heavy research on the differences between men and women.
Heavy.
Yeah, heavy.
Heavy. At least like 30 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
It was
heavy.
More than that. It was more than that.
Yeah, we've meant to record this like 10 times.
Yeah, but we were out of town last week. I had a work trip that you decided to come on, and that was great.
Yep. So yes, I did some research on. I think you and I were talking about, just kind of the differences between men and women. I think we were. I don't remember now because it's been so many weeks, but
we were arguing over something.
What?
Yeah, we were arguing over something.
We don't argue.
And you said something like,
what did I say?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it said something like, "You're such a man," or something like that. And I thought, yeah, or something like that. And I said, "Quit being such a woman." Don't you remember?
I don't.
Oh well. You went and looked up what the differences were. It was hard to find.
Well, yeah, I think at the time I thought it would be super helpful to try and understand the emotional differences between men and women, and then maybe that could help people's relationships. So that's where my head started to go.
Like ours.
Like ours. Yes. We needed some help, people, okay? We needed some help.
Well, not just emotional, but also mental and physical differences.
Well, I went looking for emotional differences, and that's what I started looking up. And then the articles I was seeing were, hey, don't forget there's also mental and physical differences that also play into your relationships. So that's how I was like, oh, okay, yeah, right? Like there are some really big differences. Thank goodness there's differences. I'm glad there's differences. But yeah.
So if you don't like stereotyping and generalization, please turn off the podcast now.
We are stereotyping. And some of these stereotypes that we're going to be talking about, we don't even fit into. You know what I mean? So don't think that we're saying all men or all women are in these categories that we're putting them in.
All right, just 95, 96%.
Yeah, I mean, there are stereotypes for a reason, right? Because that's the majority. So don't get upset with us. Just deal with it.
This is not a woke version of our episode.
We are talking about differences between men and women.
And there are differences.
Absolutely.
Biological differences
Yes.
that affect you emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Yes. So that's what we're talking about today.
Okay, so what's the first one you want to throw down?
Okay, women tend to be more personal than men. What do you think about that one?
I don't know what that means. More personal?
Yeah, I think women want to know the details. They want to know people's feelings. Right? I think that's what it means when it says more personal.
Okay, I understand that.
We don't want to just be shallow and or not shallow, but like, not shallow.
You just called all men shallow,
I did not
honey.
mean shallow. I didn't. I did not mean shallow. I meant surface. Like sometimes men stay on the surface, right? Where women want to go deeper. Would you say that is?
Yes, I would say that's
generally correct?
Generally true, unless a man wants a deeper relationship with someone, then they'll go deeper.
Okay.
But I mean, for you like to go deeper early.
You mean
in a relationship?
You mean like with you, or you mean like with friends?
With friends and things like that.
I like to have a connection.
Even with our own kids. You have a deeper connection with the kids than I do.
I like to have a connection with someone. I like to find it and nurture it. And you know, with my friends, I have friends that are all different personalities and they're not all the same. And I like to, you know, focus in on what is my connection with them, right? So where men typically you might talk about sports, or you don't talk about
We
feelings.
don't talk about our feelings. We talk about something else.
Yes, you don't talk about your feelings or even your relationships, right? Like, do you talk to your friends about me?
No,
Well, why not?
because
Because, wow, okay,
that's between you and me.
you just wouldn't, right? Where
No, men
don't do that.
men don't do that.
Typically.
We always have to say typically
Yes.
on everything.
No. Okay, people, we're not saying typically anymore, so get over it. So yes, where women tend to be more personal, right? We talk about our relationships with our kids, with our husband, to each other.
Yeah, that's interesting because when we've had our Monday night barbecues here at the house, the men and women separate. Sometimes,
Most of the time they do.
yes,
Yeah.
and us men, a lot of times we're talking about work, the economy, the weather, politics.
The women are not usually
What are
typically
you girls talking about?
We talk about our kids and maybe something that happened recently, or we talk about our lives, where you're not talking about your lives specifically. You're talking about external things.
Yeah,
right?
I think we kind of disconnect from,
Yeah.
hey,
Right.
our lives are a mess enough. We don't need to tell everyone about it.
Yes, they're such a mess. But no, I think we talk about things that we want to help each other or share. Sharing is caring.
Well, we share too. We do. Just differently. We share about, hey, I found this really cool thing at Home Depot that helps me grill better, for example.
Okay,
Or,
so you guys
hey,
share.
I found this really cool investment, high risk, but hey, if you want to waste all your money or make a lot of money, sometimes we share that way.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay, so you would say that one is true, that women tend to be more personal than men, right?
yes,
we're
and
gonna say
have
that's true.
deeper relationships
Okay.
than men do.
Men tend to be interested in logical deduction.
Those are some big words. What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's see. Logical deduction. That you can logically.
Why don't you logically deduct that sentence? No, we like to reason through things
Yes,
more.
you like to take something and logically figure it out, or logically.
Regardless of the emotions behind
Yes, where women might be more illogical, right?
it. I don't know if illogical is the right word, but you're focused. You're not interested in logical deduction as much as the emotions behind the decision or the emotions behind the situation more.
Okay. Because I actually feel like I actually don't know that for me, I think I am very actually interested in logical deduction. When people come to me with problems or whatever, and I'm like, I do look at it logically. Like, logically, that doesn't make sense. Or logically, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I do have a logical brain.
Yes, you do.
I do.
But for example, let's talk about Ukraine, for example.
Okay.
If we were to talk about the Ukraine, I would break that situation in the Ukraine down with logical deduction, say, why did Russia invade? What, all the logics behind it. And I would look at the propaganda they're using behind it and how they line that all up, where I don't think you would think about those things.
I do want to know those things, but then I also let my emotions come in and go, oh, but look at all the,
Yeah, because you've even come back and said to me, Darren, you can't say that was a brilliant move by someone to do something wrong.
Right.
It says, no, that was really bad. And I said, yeah, it was really bad, but it was brilliant the way they did it.
Right.
Maybe that's me, though.
Yeah. And that's where I guess you're right.
I can appreciate that, even though I think it's really wrong.
Right. Where maybe we're run more with our emotions. You know what I mean?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Men tend to be more conquer and challenge. I love how they put this. I'm going to conquer. Do you see me conquering things?
It says it's typically why they like sports. I think that means more like something is placed in front of you and you guys go, okay, here's this task. I'm going to go after it and da-da-da-da, right? Here's my steps to conquer it. That may be more of a male trait.
That's very much me. What about you in that respect?
I don't know. I I think I am that way a little bit. What do you think? Do you think I think
You like to do it last minute, though. I like to break it down. Say, all right, how can I? If I have a huge thing, then I will break it down. What do I have to do now, tomorrow, the next day, in order to accomplish this thing, or break it down over a long period of time so that I can conquer that challenge.
Yeah, and I know you've said this before when I'm like, oh, let's do this. Let's redo this bathroom this weekend. And you always say to me, make a list. Let's make a list of the things in the house that you want to have done, and let's prioritize. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but let's do this bathroom this weekend. And I think your mind is, you're like, whoa, 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 like.
No, this comes from just old age. I know. Anytime you say, let's just do a bathroom, it's not a 2 or 3 hour job, because as soon as you start taking anything out, you find mold, you find leaky pipes, you find all these problems, right?
We took part of the wall off, and then the new thing didn't fit, and then the new toilet didn't fit. Like, yeah, there's always, it's never just a quick fix, right?
No, but hey, I still conquer. I conquered the bathroom.
You want to conquer it. So maybe it's just, yeah. Once again, we are like, I get a vision, and you hate when I get a vision.
I hate it.
The worst words that Darren could ever hear from me is, I have a vision. And he's like, no vision. Close your eyes.
No, if you can give me a picture of what that vision is, we're doing a lot better. But if it's like, I have a vision in my head and I can't quite figure it out, I'm like, okay, stew on that a little bit longer and see if you can find a picture.
Like a year or two.
Because, yeah. All right. So this is interesting. The article that you referenced said that women typically are less interested in boxing than men. And why is that?
Well, you know how I feel about boxing.
I know. I stopped watching Ultimate Fighting when I married you.
I cannot take it. I cannot watch two
Why would
people,
anyone hit each other, right?
You're beating each other to a pulp, and we're sitting here watching it. That makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I literally can't watch it. I can't. I'm just like, why would you do that? Why? That's the dumbest sport on the planet. Yes,
honey, you're offending a lot of people.
That's fine. I'm sorry if I'm offending you, but let's just beat each other up until one of us falls down. Like, what?
They hug each other afterwards.
Oh my gosh, I don't understand.
There's the emotion in the ring, honey.
Oh my! I just don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah.
Okay, so, well, there you go. The other interesting thing they said in the article, too, was, and this is true for me, if we have, like, a family vacation and we have 800 miles to drive or so, I'm like, let's go. We're leaving at this time so we can get there at this next time.
Well, and you already have planned out. We're going to stop at this place, and then we're going to stop at this place, and then we're going to be there. And yeah, it was saying that in this article that men, that's their thinking, right? This is what time we're going to leave. We're going to stop. And women are like, but there might be a cute shop along the way, or there might be a nice park. We could have a picnic, or, you know what I mean? That we're more like, let's take a minute
and let's have build our relationship, right?
Yeah.
Instead
and let's look at the area and right? Let's bond on this trip. And you're like, nope, let's just get there. And sometimes I am that way too. Sometimes let's just get there.
I think you're more that way now.
Yeah.
And I've calmed down a little bit on, hey, we got to get there. So yeah, we can stop for a half hour or an hour and have lunch.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. Cause it says that you might think it's a waste of time because it interferes with your goal. Your goal is to get there by this time. And yeah, I think I'm coming over more to that side now that the
kids are older.
The kids are older. When the kids were little, I felt like we needed to stop more and take a break and get out of the car. Now I'm just like, yeah, let's just get there. So maybe it has to do with where you are at in life.
Okay, let's talk about intimacy.
Alrighty.
All right. So it says...
Is this going to be PG-13 now?
Yeah, we'll keep it PG. All right, PG-13. We may kiss. You never know. It says in this article, it said men tend to be less desirous in building intimate relationships.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think men want as deep a relationship with other people as women do.
True. Yes, that is true. Sometimes... I think women, and I've talked to my friends about this, sometimes we're very jealous of the man brain. That like we go to a party.
Really?
Yeah, we go to a party and we hang out and we have fun with our friends. And then we come home and we're like, oh no, remember when I said blah, blah, blah to so-and-so? And do you think that they were offended by that? Like we replay the whole night in our heads. As I get older, I do that less and less. But do you know what I mean? We think about, oh, I hope that didn't offend them. And I hope that where you guys come home, I'm like, oh, do you think what you said offended so-and-so? And you're like, no, why would I even?
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up, because sometimes you'll even say, I'm not quite sure what you said, Darren. That may have hurt someone's feelings
Yes.
at that.
Yep.
And I'm like, what?
Yes, because you guys don't go over those things. And women typically tend to replay those conversations and go, oh, I hope that didn't. I actually just had this conversation with several of my friends, and we said we just need to get over it, especially as we're getting older, and remember that these people are friends who love us. We need to give each other the benefit of the doubt. We're all going to say stupid things, and we just need to go, you know what? There was no ill will there. There was no intention to hurt feelings, so just know that Paige loves you, and she said something stupid. Move on.
And guess what? She's probably going over in her head over and over again.
Yes. And you sit there and go, should I bring it up to them? And you're like, no, I don't want it to make it a bigger thing than it was. Or what if they didn't think it was a thing?
That
I don't
must
want.
be hard being a woman.
It is. It is. Like I said, the older I get, the less of those internal conversations I have, because I'm like, oh well, they know my intent, so hopefully they do.
Now, this is another interesting fact, and
Okay.
from this article, women usually are the ones to buy marriage books and self-help books and listen to self-help things, where men normally are not the ones that are out there doing that.
Okay, now is that true in our relationship?
No,
No. I do not enjoy or buy or listen to self-help books. I do not. I always say I'm good enough. I'm GE. It's good enough. I'm trying. I'm trying.
I think it's funny because I think you take those self-help books kind of personally.
I do. I'm like, how dare you tell me that what I'm doing is wrong and I need to do something else? Leave me alone.
I'm fine with that. Hey, give me some ideas on how to do this better. I think some of that comes through because we are divorced. We can see the benefits of marriage counseling, and
Yes.
and hey, we've got to find ways to help our relationship because it's so important to us.
Right.
So I think that kind of led to that, for me at least.
Yes.
When I'm seeking that out.
So we may be an odd couple because most of the women that I know, they are the ones to buy the marriage books, to listen. Lots of my friends listen to self-help books. They're constantly wanting to improve. And I want to improve too.
On your own terms.
On my own terms. I'm just too stubborn that way, I guess. I do. I always want to improve. And I do want to know I want to work on things that I am failing at for sure. But I don't like these people to tell me what to do. I'll figure it out.
Not.
I'll figure it out.
Eventually. All right. Here's another interesting thing I thought was women identify themselves by their close relationships.
Yes, they find their identity in close relationships. I agree with that.
That is fascinating.
Isn't that fascinating? Okay, so where do men find their identity?
In what they can provide and what their career is. Think about it. The first time that men talk to each other and says, "Hey, what do you do?"
Right. Yes, that's true.
That's
true.
what we say.
Right.
Right. What do women say when you first meet?
I think now, we're in a very progressive society now. So we might say, what do you do? We might say, do you have children? I don't think people don't just assume that women stay home anymore at all.
I agree. But the women, I think women in general don't ask other women. I think even you ask men, you don't ask men, what do you do? You say, where'd you move from?
Yes. Right. I ask more personal questions. Where are you from? What kind, what's your family situation? Do you like it here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more
Where
personal.
men, the very first question I ask, hey, what do you do?
Right.
Where do you work? Where'd you get a job?
Yes. No, I would never ask that to a woman the first question. I would say, where did you move from?
You wouldn't even ask that of a man.
Mm-mm. Probably not. No.
Oh.
No.
So that's interesting that we project our own identities on other people. I don't know. To me, people say, "Oh, you're just stack ranking yourself. You're just ranking yourself against other people based off your jobs."
No, I don't think that's it at all.
No, for me, that's not it at all. For me, it's like that's how I relate to other people on what is your profession?
Right.
What do you do? Right.
Even no, yeah, there might be some men that have big egos out there that they are stack
You know
ranking.
who we're talking about.
Are some of them listening right now?
Yeah. You know this podcast is about you. This song is about you. All right. Hey, here's a good point that she mentions here. Because women's emotional identity is tied with people and places around her, you have a harder time adjusting to change. Do you think that's true?
Absolutely. I think when people move, when a family moves, a husband and a wife, and your family moves somewhere, the woman has a harder time adjusting than the man. The man, he just kind of this is our new place and we're just getting into the groove. And a woman is like, oh, I've, left my friends. I've got to make new friends. Yeah, I think it's more emotional and has to take a minute to adjust to the change for sure.
Well, is that the same even if you don't move, but things around you are changing, like friends moving or kids going to a different school?
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure. Yes, we take things very internally and think of them and overthink. Women are classic overthinkers, which is just ridiculous, and we need to stop it. And sometimes our brain, just especially at 2 a.m, we overthink everything. But yes, where it says, a man can get psyched up.
Oh, a change to me is exciting. It's
Yes.
a little bit nervous.
It said a man can logically deduce the benefits of a change, and he can get psyched up for it in a matter of minutes. Where a woman, in a matter of minutes, you can't get psyched up about something. You have to be in it to get psyched up.
So it takes more effort for you.
Yes.
When there is change, to get excited about a change. Where I'm like, all right, I see this change as challenge. Again, it's a challenge.
Right.
How can I get through this change? Maybe it's our best friends leaving, or changing houses, or changing jobs. That's like, ooh, all right.
Well,
hey, I can.
Do you think it's because men are more typically a big picture type of thing, where women are in it? We're in the moment.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? That's not even in this
yeah.
article. I just came up with that.
No,
just
I
now.
think you're probably right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I was reading this, what we had on here, that we focus on immediate consequences, and so we need time to overcome the initial adjustment before warming up to its advantages. That's what this says about women and change. So I'm wondering if it's because men have the bigger picture, like, oh, this change has happened, but I'm looking at the bigger picture and it's going to be better for all of us.
A year down the road,
Yes.
or 2 years down the road,
Where
it's gonna be much better.
we're in the immediate consequence phase and the emotional ties that we have to whatever's going on.
That's very interesting. I never thought of that. I think that's true, though.
Might be true.
Okay, let's talk about romance.
Okay.
Physically, women need touch and
Romantic words. Yeah, I guess.
You guess so?
Yeah.
Well, that ties into that emotional. You want me to tie emotionally to you before I tie physically to you.
Yes, but it's interesting because I feel like you almost need more touch, not so much the romantic words, but you are a physical.
Well, I'm physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where, I don't know, but it's interesting because, I guess I do agree with that. I want you to want me in every sense, like not just physically. I want you to want me. I want you to want me.
Emotionally, mentally.
Need you, need me.
And
it's
physically.
true.
Yep.
I want that. So sometimes, I'm the first 10 years of our marriage, every time I walk by you, you're like, and then like,
what do you mean the first 10?
Yeah, I'm saying the last year, I know.
I whistle out the door at you all the time.
Like the last time I bent over and I got nothing. I was like, really? I just bent over and picked up, that piece of paper on the floor and you did nothing. The honeymoon is over. So I want you to want me. You don't necessarily have to touch me that way, but I'm like, I want you to want to.
Just get ready. I heard it. Everyone's heard it. So anyone that's around us, our friends that are around us, if you hear me calling, it's not to your wife. It's to my wife.
To me. Okay.
And it will happen constantly now.
Okay.
You'll get tired of it. Okay. Next. I found this one interesting too. Women are typically attracted by a man's
personality. I would say that is almost always. I mean, you still have to be attracted to someone physically.
But you go to personality first and then physically.
Like when someone asked me, what my type was, physically, I had no type. There was no type that was my type because I don't care if you have black hair, brown hair, blonde hair, white hair.
No, she cares about the white hair.
But
she loves the white hair.
Yes. I have to get to know a person before I could say that I have a type. My type is someone funny, someone kind. You know what I mean? Like.
So yeah, so for us men, it's typically physical attributes first,
right?
And then is the personality match.
Right. Yeah, I would say that's definitely
okay.
True. Because it says a man is typically visual, doesn't need words as much as women. That is true. I would say. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah, I think this goes back to the emotional thing because a way to express our emotions is through words.
Right.
A lot of times, right, and nonverbal cues in your face and
you have a lot of emotions though. I have told you on multiple occasions to stuff your emotions down.
I do. They're right on the surface all the time. She doesn't like my emotions.
I do like them.
You don't like them
occasionally.
Yeah.
When it's convenient for me. Yes, people, we are in counseling.
Yeah, for all you other guys out there that don't show your emotions, maybe that's what I need to do.
Show your emotions?
Not show them.
Not show them. Stuff them down.
Stuff them down. Yeah, that's what you keep saying.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I know you're kidding a little bit.
A little bit.
All right. Here's another interesting thing. When women get their feelings hurt from their husband, they do not want to have sex.
No physical intimacy. That is...
You don't even want to hold hands.
I would say almost 100% for women. I'm going to speak for all women right now, which maybe that's wrong of me, but I almost think that is almost always true. Where a man can turn that on and off quicker.
Absolutely.
Where we're tied more to the emotions, right?
Yeah, hey, we just had a fight. Let's cuddle on the couch.
Right. No.
Okay, we had an interesting lemonade moment of the week.
Yes, so you went to help Jacob and Andy with their
house in Austin. Yeah. They bought a fixer-upper in Austin, a beautiful neighborhood, hotter than all get out when I was there. It was 105, 106 every day, and it cooled down at night to a balmy 89, 90.
Sweet.
It was wonderful.
Sweater weather.
But they turned their little fixer-upper small remodel into a major remodel. So I flew out there for 5 days to help them all out.
Well, because Jacob had an appendectomy,
in the middle of their thing, he had appendix.
They had a lot. They had been knocked down a little bit. So I'm so glad that you went out and tried to help them and give them a little boost that they needed. So I was actually looking forward to it because Madeline and David were with their moms, and Sam was
at a family reunion.
A Lloyd family reunion, and I was going to be home alone, and I was looking forward to it.
And that was the lemonade. The lemons are someone got lonely.
I did not think I would. I thought, well, I just can't remember the last time I was home alone for any period, for an extended period of time. I mean, I can't remember. So I was like, I am going to watch what I want. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to do whatever I want. That was fine for a day. And then I was like, I'm kind of lonely.
And then she called me a lot.
I was lonely. I did not think that was going to happen. I thought I was just going to bask in this alone time. And I was a little lonely.
So there you go. There's our lemonade moment of the week.
If you like today's episode,
give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google.
And head to Facebook and like us.
And check out our blog at where'sthelemonade.org.
where you can leave questions and comments.
But most of all,
Go out and make some lemonade.
you betcha, baby.